Hey, Zunaragi here, coming to another video review. And today, as you can see, I'll be taking a look at the 1 to 100 scale Master Grade 00 Riser from Mobile Suit Gundam 00. Anyway, you'll have to excuse my co-host here because I couldn't get her to get off the table, so she'll be joining me for at least part of the review. So, that's fun. Say hello to Lydia. Lydia, say hello to the people of the internet. Okay, you want down now. Alright, come on. There you go. Back on track. Here's his size compared to a soda can. Basically what you would expect. Now, if time allows, I'm going to try and make it all one long video, but if I can't, I'll have to shorten it into 3 separate parts. So I'll be covering first the 00 Gundam by itself, then the O Riser, and then the combination and the combined form of the 00 Riser. So for now, we're going to cover just the 00 Gundam and the accessories that are pertinent specifically to it and all that good stuff. So, first things first, his colors are what you would expect of a Gundam. Mostly white with some blue, dark gray, red, some yellow, some medium green, or I guess translucent green, and some translucent red with some other pieces thrown in. Or some clear pieces, if I can get my words to word correctly. And stop smacking the camera. His posability is pretty good, but it's a Master Grade Gunpla, so there's no surprise there. The head is on a swivel up in the head itself, so it can go side to side and all the way around if you can get everything matching up just right and not knock everything around. And there's a bit of a head tilt in there, so you can get that action. Then there is a hinge at the base of the neck and the body, so the head can go back and forth. The cockpit can also open. Just take this white piece, pull it forward, open this up, and there's the cockpit with a little statuette of Setsuna in there. For the backpack, there is a hinge. I think it's just 2 hinges in here. It can go back and forth and up and down. Now, if you're doing a pose where this is up and it's got some weight on it, like the O Riser's binders, and you don't want it to move, there is a little switch right here which acts as a locking mechanism. So you pull this out to the side, like that, and it stops the arm from going down any further than that. But if you want the arm to be fully posable like normal, then just flick this back in. And there you go. And there is a swivel right here, so the binder with the GN drive can go back and forth. And this part can move in and out. And then there's a little slider right here, so if you want this up and not to fall back down with something heavy on it, you just take this, and now it stops the GN drive from going down. And the GN drive itself can swivel. The arms have a pretty neat little joint to them. They can move back and forth of the body, and up and down just a little bit. They can go all the way up, conceivably all the way around if the binders weren't in the way. The shoulder armor moves separately and can move in and out a little bit. Just keep it back there. Arms can go out to the side that far, swivel all the way around just below the shoulder, bend at 2 points in the elbow. First, this round piece can bend that far. Can also go back a little bit to break his arm. And this part can bend like that. There's also a hinge in the wrist. And then the hand itself, there is a post and hinge there, so it can swivel side to side, tilt side to side, move in and out. The thumb and index finger on individual ball joints, and then the 3 fingers here are on joined ball joints. There is a tilt in the upper torso to allow it to go side to side like that. Then there is a ab crunch just below that, which has some pretty good range of movement. And then a ball joint in the waist, so side to side, swivel, all that good stuff. There's a ball joint in the front skirt, up and down, swivel, everything you need. Ball joint here. And then, oh, I forgot, the thrusters back here are on hinges. This is on a hinge swivel, so up and down. Oh no, I was thinking of the perfect grade. No, just a hinge on this one. And then little hinges in here for the beam saber storage, but I'll show that off later. My camera's focus is all messed up, because of course it is. The legs can go that far forward, that far back, that far out to the side. There's also a joint in the hip that allows the legs to move up and down individually for to make him taller, shorter, just wider range of motion. Then there is a swivel just below the hip. There are two points of articulation in the knee. First, there's the upper joint, which when you bend it, pulls this piece of armor out, or piece of frame, I guess. And the lower joint, which just separates the knee there. When you bring it up far enough, this little white panel will get out of the way. Then there are two ankle joints here, one back here, one up here, both on hinges. And then for the foot, there is a hinge and swivel inside the ankle, so back and forth and swivel. And the famous 00 foot joint, so wide range of motion side to side. And then the foot, or then the toe, can move back and forth. And that is about it for posability. Now his accessories are pretty extensive, but they aren't debilitatingly so. So I'll start off with the simplest ones. He has a set of alternate hands where the fingers do not move except for the thumb, which as you can see is curled a little bit more and is still in a ball joint, but the fingers are actually separate pieces you can pull off. They're just on tabs with slots, or tabs with little other tabs. Comes with two variations of those: a grasping finger variant, or a closed fist variant, if you just want him with a idle hand. He does come with two of them, and swapping them out is easy. The hand is simply on a post, so you just pull it out, and you see the post here, just pop it back in place. There you go. And personally I prefer these hands because they're a little more stable than the posable ones, which have a tendency to sort of pop apart. The next accessory is you can switch out the GN drives. And for those that don't know, this is based on the movie Awakening of the Trailblazer, or Awakening of Trailblazers, I forget exactly what it is, where after the end of the second season, the two GN drives for this guy are destroyed, so they end up putting GN condensers on him instead. And you can simulate that. So you just got to take the GN drive out. I'll just give you a better look at it here. Now what you do to turn to the GN condenser is take this white cone-shaped piece, pull it off, and then take this part, and there are some indentations and some posts, and you line them up with the tabs and the ports on here. Just get that all lined up, push it together, and then it's keyed with tabs all the way around to go into this ring a specific way. Just like that, and that gives you an idea of the GN condenser versus the proper GN drive. Personally, I prefer the GN drive look because it just, it's what he had through most of the series. So that's just personally what I prefer over the GN condenser look. But hey, your kit. The heck? Oh, had it turned around. Next up on the list, we have his beam sabers, of which he comes with 2. Just simple pieces of white plastic. As you can see, they have holes or slots through them. He comes with 2 translucent pink beams, and they go in easily. There's a port in there, post here, put it together, all done. He can, of course, hold it very easily. If you've got the posable fingers, just open them up, and there's a tab on the palm of the hand, slot in here. Just put that together. Can sometimes be easier said than done. Why are you being such a pain? There we go. And there he is equipping it, and it's a very solid connection. It's not going to just drop out of his hand. However, that also means it's a little bit irritating to get out of his hand. So, come on. Come on. Come on! And his fingers just fell off. Lovely. Okay, commercial break. So in case you hadn't guessed, that's one reason I prefer the idle hands instead of the posable hands, because you don't have that happening. Anyway, now to store the beam sabers, he just has these 2 posts on his back skirt, so you can just plug those into there. One there, and one there. And like I showed you before with that posability, that allows it to swing out so it can, get a pose like he's grabbing it, which is always nice. Next we have his GN daggers, I think is what they're called. As you can see, they're very simple in design, mostly gray plastic, some blue, some white. Now, they have 2 forms. This is the sort of stored or shield form. And to get it into combat form, what you do is you take this blue piece. There's a slot here, 2 tabs there. It was originally on this tab, so you want to move it to this tab. And there you have the combat ready form. There's this folding tab here. You want this one down. And this just goes into his arm. There's just a slot here on the back of his arm. Just line that up. Press it together. There we go. I don't know why it's being so finicky, but there it is, equipped. Pretty basic. Now, of course, there is a combined form for these guys. And so what you do is you take this blue piece, move it back to the original position, and then take the blade and pull it out. And take the second one, do the same, pull the blade out, and then on one of them, it doesn't matter which one, you take this tab, flip it out, and then this tab, come on, will go into that slot. And then you have the giant freaking surfboard. I wish you could put this part on, but no, you have to put it on with this piece, so just put this tab into the arm. And there he has a very big, very weird shield, which for self-evident reasons he never used. Now, of course, they can be stored on it, and so you just take this tab and bring it down to here, and then you have the giant freaking surfboard. I wish you could put this part on, but no, you have to put it on with this piece, so just put this tab into the arm. And there he has a very big, very weird shield, which for self-evident reasons he never used. Now, of course, they can be stored on it, and so you just take this tab and bring it down to here, and then take the other tab, bring it up to here. And then there are slots on the GN drive binders that those tabs go into. Oh, one more thing. You want to move this blue piece up so it sort of wraps around the GN drive. Anyway, take that tab, put it into there. There you go. And again, tab into slot. The way these tabs like to wiggle, it can sometimes be difficult, but that time was relatively easy. There he is with those stored. I like the way that looks. He didn't really look like that in the show very often. In fact, I think those basically just vanished after the first couple times he used them, didn't they? Well, his next accessory is the GN Sword 2 or 3, I forget exactly. This thing. Fairly neat. Long white blade, gray piece back here, blue guard, this translucent green bit, which looks a whole lot more blue on camera. Of course, he can equip it. There's just a slot right here. So you just take these fingers off. Come on. And then put the slot onto the tab. And then put the fingers back on. And there he is wielding the sword. Pretty neat. And of course, it has the gun mode in addition to the sword mode. So you take the blade, pull it out, turn it, and then put it back in. Take the handle, bring it all the way down. Just sort of separate these two pieces and bring this down like that. And there it is in the rifle mode. Now this time you want to use this upper tab instead when you put it into his hand. So just get that all lined up. And there you go. There is an effect part that goes with this, and it can be used in either gun or sword mode. But either way, you have to leave the blade like this. It comes with two of these long, pink, flared blades with little tabs at the end. And basically these rails go onto the tracks in here. So just line all that up. And then this part will sit back in that divot back there. And there he has these really, really big swords. They're actually taller than he is. But this isn't the biggest that these swords can get, because he comes with this connector piece with a tab right there, or slot right there in the middle, and these two tabs on either end. These tabs go into these slots on the back. Just like that. And that. And now he has a double-edged blade. And this already is huge. But if you put the effect parts on both ends, you get something truly huge. And of course, he can still equip it with that slot in the middle. Now, these can both be stored on him. There are these little clips right here. And basically what these clips do is there are edges here that go around this gray bit. Round bit, I mean. It's all gray. Just like that. And there is a post that will go into the side skirt. But to do it, you need to take this panel. It just sits post in the port. Move it down to the lower port. And then plug this one in. Obviously he can store both of them, but there he is with both swords stored. Looks fairly cool in my opinion. Anyway, I think at this point I'm going to go ahead and call it red, and I will have to separate this into 3 parts. So this concludes part 1 of the video, and in part 2 I will cover the O-riser and the accessories unique to it, and then I will then cover the combination into the double O-riser and all the stuff it can do. So, see you then, and don't forget, if you or anyone you know likes to collect Gunpla or models of any kind, but you don't have the time, the patience, or just don't want to build them, let me know and we can work something out. I offer a service to build models and send them to you. So if that interests you, send me a message and let me know. Till then, bye-bye.